What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another esports edition of our Counter-Strike Go content. This is Hold the Door DFS. You can find my Twitter account below, and also our esports Discord channel is linked below as well. We have a two-game slate tonight, starting at 5 o'clock Central, the Mythic season. So I think because it is the only CSGO slate available, I do think we'll see some of the public and sharks kind of migrate over to that slate, even though we have kind of been seeing them take these off slates, just not playing them, like the PAL slates that I've enjoyed playing so far. We've seen less sharks and popular DFS players in the lobbies. So looks like we are going to get back to some bigger competition tonight and some pretty big contests actually from a GPP perspective. So let's get in. There's a lot of moving factors in some of these lineups that aren't all confirmed. So just bear with me. Again, my primary focus will be on cash, but I do think there's one team that's probably stackable as a GPP contrarian play. All right, let's get into the odds first. And if you have not got a chance to subscribe to our channel, please do so. Throw this video a comment or a like. It helps go a long ways for us to continue to give out some free content here at FSI. So our odds here, and I am on gg.bet, which I like to use a lot for these slates that are not as popular because I make sure I get their odds. But Mythic is coming in as the biggest favorite here at a -500. And then the New England Whalers is coming in at -233. So we have two fairly heavy favorites. I would say in cash games, you for sure are going to want at least 3 Mythic, and likely at least 2 New England Whalers, if not 3. We'll kind of see how the builds are going to work out. So as we get into the Mythic game first, I'm not really going to look too closely at their opponent and just look at Mythic. And if I'm also going to go, I'll be kind of going between a lot of these HLTV tabs up here on the top because I've kind of brought up some different stats and things just because these players we're not as familiar with. So if we go to here, Davey was not initially listed as the 5th player, but he is in, and he is on the slate here, listed at 6,000. If we just kind of look based on price, ZNF is the most expensive player at 9,200. And don't be, I guess, alarmed by necessarily like the game logs. This was a best of 1 game played, and he went 18 and 21. So yeah, he only had 9 points, or 8.5. I don't know why the average is different than what the game log says, but this was back in April. So don't be misled by what the game logs are saying because it's based on a 1-game sample, and we're going to be looking at some things that are bigger than that. So ZNF comes in with a 0.75 kills per round, 0.66 deaths per round. That's a nice ratio that we do typically would be someone you would target, especially here as a -500 favorite. Flam or FL0M, however you want to say his name, is also sporting a similar line of 0.75 kills per round and 0.66 deaths per round. He is the second most expensive player at 8,000. Again, very in play for those statistics. Then we get into our last 3. Chieti, and I may be pronouncing this wrong, with a really nice stat line as well, 0.75 deaths per round, 0.68 0.75 kills per round, 0.868 deaths per round. Then we are kind of at Pollen, who is sporting a 0.63 kills per round and 0.68 deaths per round. So we are below positive there, and that is similar with Davey. So they are priced appropriately where you would really ideally want to target these top 3. Now remember, if this is in a sweeping case, which at -500 you would expect it to be a sweep, you can get away with playing either of those 2 other guys as punt plays, hoping that it is a sweep and they all get the 20-point bonus for the last map. I did pull, there's not the data with Davy in it, but here's just with these four that the three that we want to target are have performed the best here, with Pollen being clearly the worst in a 51 map sample size. But what I do like to see is, like Chieti here is at a point, or is at 81, has the highest kill differential. And he's actually the cheapest of the three. So he's definitely potential to use at the captain spot to kind of relieve some salary, but also getting a really good player on a big favored team. I did look into Davey a little bit more. In the last 12 months, his kill to death ratio is 0.87. And then 6 months, it has, let's see, stay the same. I think it dropped a little bit. And then actually in the last 3 months, he's been playing slightly better. So we're going to see it jump up to like 0.94. And then in the last month, it might even be a little bit higher. Oh, it's about the same. So he's performing better recently than his long-term stats suggest. So I think at 6K he's viable, but I do prefer these three over him. And what I'm hoping to see is that some people flock to Pollen based on this 27.5 game log, even though I really like the top three a lot more. So that's kind of my take on Mythic here. Again, these are new teams, new players. We could see if they're on another slate, Chieti could definitely jump, one of these other two in prices next week. We could see these three flip-flop around. We've seen that with these teams that are not as popular or not as well known, that, recent performances and things will change those prices pretty dramatically in a short amount of time. Let's go into our second game. We'll look on both sides of this one, but we'll start with the New England Whalers. Pawn alone, I think, will be the most popular play on the entire slate. I think he is, clearly their best player by a long shot here. Where is he at? Right here. 0.78 kills per round, 0.61 deaths per round. So I think he will be one of my first players in, and New England Whalers being a pretty big favorite here. Now, after this is where it gets kind of interesting. Ben has played 45 maps with them. When I'll take him out in a second, and it does give us, he's the newest member of this team, does give us more data to work with. But you can see Pawn alone being at a plus 197 is clearly the best, 1.27 kill to death ratio when these guys have been playing together in the last 45 maps. And you can also look over here to see with this team playing, they are 25 and 20. So they're playing decent. And then what you can get into, you can look at their maps and things like that. So now DJ with a plus 43 and Booby at a plus 60. DJ as the third most expensive, and Booby as that 6,200. And then let's go back. Sorry. Rampage actually showing up here with a -4, being the worst in these 4 times they've played, and he's actually priced at 7,600. Now, I don't want that to just be the end-all be-all for a reason to fade him at 7,600, but I'm going to get rid of Ben here and just see what that does to maybe Rampage's data. And we're seeing even at a 79 map sample size that, Rampage has still been the worst. So I do think he's overpriced at 7,600. And I think that you would prefer to target probably, Pawn alone, Booby, and then deciding between DJ and Ben 1,337 if you are full stacking the other side of this matchup, or stacking the New England side. Let's look at the Ocean side here, or Oceanus, sorry. And their players, I think, have now updated on here. Yeah, they have everybody in there. But Whippy is 0.87 kills per round, 0.64 deaths per round. That's probably the highest you're going to see out of any player on the slate. And it's just pretty high in general. I mean, we don't even see the best players in EU with that kind of line. But we'll look into the kill share here in a little bit and kind of see what that actually looks like and not be kind of skewed, because we have Penny here also at 0.8 kills per round, 0.67 deaths per round. Then our next is Twice is the next most expensive player. And he's sporting a 0.75 kill per round. Again, another really good line. Hunter and Xander. So let's go Hunter. He's less than 1, and then Xander is way less than 1. So definitely cross those guys out. So let's look at Oceanus to see what their performance has been like, and how are they playing recently. To me, it doesn't look like they're playing really great. They lost to Mythic 1-0, 2-0 to Levitate, 2-0 to Recon 5. They had some more of these best of ones that they won, which looked like they were better. Polar Ace is a team on the slate. So they lost. Okay, so right here they lost to the New England Whalers 16-12 on June 4th. So let's just see how that came out. This is a best of 1. And Whippy was actually not playing with them in this, so that definitely does make a difference. Ben 1337 was the top fragger on the server at 27 and 17. Pawn Alone 21 and 15. They all performed pretty well. Penny 19 and 19 was the best, but they did lose, like I said, in a best of 1. So now this is pretty intriguing to me, because I want to know a little bit more about Whippy. Because of his stat line, and maybe he just hasn't been playing with these guys very long. So let's dive into that here. So it doesn't look like we even have a sample size with him in it here. Because Mata is not Whippy, and that's the player we want. So I am going to remove him. So in this case, Penny has been the best player. So I'm not really sure. I'm gonna be able to figure out if this is Mata. Okay. So if I take out Mata, I don't know that the map size is gonna change a ton. Okay, 71 maps. So wow. So you clearly see that Penny is by far the best of this group. We just need to learn a little bit more about Whippy, and then I think we'll have a better idea. But I think even saying, I mean, we'll look at Whippy, but obviously Penny's the best player from what we're seeing in this sample size, and that would support his 3-month data. But I think they're with the other side of this matchup, the New England Whalers being about a -230 favorite. I think that in cash you're likely going to be at least 2, if not 3, on them. But I think you definitely can consider a Whippy one-off if we see his statistics being good in a longer period of time, or even just what level of competition are we talking here. So I do want to get into his player profile here before we make any strong takes on Whippy, because I think that is a way on these kind of crazy off the market slates here that we can find an edge if he really was like a strong player for a higher level team. So let's pull him up, because his stats are obviously eye-opening in the last 3 months. Where have you been playing? Who have you been playing with? So he has been playing with, it looks like, the Rugrats, which I think they are certainly a reasonable team. Let's kind of look at their event history. Let's go to last year. Sorry, this is going to be a little bit longer than typically one, because I'm just kind of going through my research process with you. So their maps, and obviously he has not probably been with them for all these, but they are definitely a viable team here, and have played probably better teams than what some of these other teams have played. So just in that small sample size for Whippy there, we saw some pretty good data in those matches that he played. but I would like to see just him as an individual. Okay, so let's look at him as an individual. So in the last 3 months, he's got a 1.35 kill to death ratio, 107 kills to 79 deaths. So that sample is not massive either. Let's stretch this out to like the last year and see if that helps him. Okay, so he's definitely been overperforming in the last 3 months. That has definitely brought that number up. Not that he's still not a really good player, but I do think that it might be a little bit skewed just based on, yeah, okay, versus top 5 opponents, versus top 10 opponents, versus top 20. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a great one-off if you're doing a 2-1. So if you do a 3-2-1 stack, a Mythic 3-2 from New England Whalers, and then a Whippy. Otherwise, you could obviously fully stack the Oceanus side using Penny and Whippy, and then deciding on one of the other players. So I do think just with less data that you're going to see some people flock to him just based on that. Well, you know, here I like this. So I'm assuming these are teams he played against, or maybe for. Furia, you know, plus 14. Yeah, I think it's the teams he's played against. So, I mean, he's performed pretty well against some pretty good teams. Furia, New England Whalers already, plus 29 in that matchup. So, again, I'm going to stop going on too long, but I think that he's definitely in play as a one-off Whippy, and I think you want to make sure you get 3 Mythic in, and then you can go from there. Hopefully this helped start your builds. I think there's going to be a lot of question marks tonight, so I don't think it's just going to be an easy chalk build. And people might try to get really weird with these different slates and just thinking there maybe is more implied variance. So good luck to you. Hop over to our Discord channel, hit that subscribe button, and be on the lookout for more CSGO content on every single slate that comes available to us on DraftKings, because we will be covering it. Hopefully, most of the times there'll be videos for you, but also core plays and lineup advice and feedback in our free Discord channel for now. All right, thanks.